Once upon a time, a kind but poor couple longed for a child. The wife, expecting a baby, craved the lush green rampion, Rapunzel plant, growing in the garden of a powerful sorceress. One night, the husband sneaked into the garden and picked some rampion, but the sorceress caught him, and in exchange for mercy, demanded the child his wife carried. Fearing her wrath, he agreed. When the baby girl was born, the sorceress took her away and named her Rapunzel. As she grew, the sorceress locked her in a tall tower with no door or stairs, hidden deep in the forest. Rapunzel's hair grew long and golden. The sorceress would stand below and call, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Rapunzel would drop her long braid, and the sorceress would climb up. One day, a young prince rode through the forest and heard Rapunzel singing from her tower. Entranced, he hid and watched. When the sorceress called for Rapunzel to let down her hair, he learned how to enter the tower. That night, when the sorceress was gone, the prince tried. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." She obeyed, thinking it was her guardian. When the prince climbed up, they were both startled, but soon they fell in love. One day, Rapunzel innocently said to the sorceress, "Why are you so much heavier than the prince?" Realizing the betrayal, the sorceress grew furious. With a flick of her knife, the sorceress cut off Rapunzel's hair and cast her into a distant, desolate land. That night, when the prince arrived, the sorceress let down Rapunzel's cut hair instead. As the prince climbed up, he found only the sorceress waiting for him. "You will never see Rapunzel again," she hissed and let go of the hair. The prince fell into a thorn bush below, where the thorns blinded him. For years, the blind prince wandered in sorrow. Meanwhile, Rapunzel lived alone, raising their twin children in a far-off land. One day, the prince heard a familiar voice, Rapunzel's song. He followed the sound, calling her name. Overjoyed, Rapunzel ran to him, and as she wept, her tears fell onto his eyes. A miracle. His sight was restored. The prince led Rapunzel and their children to his kingdom, where they lived happily ever after.